What up, everybody? Welcome to the first edition of Spotlight, or Spotlight On, which would be the podcast in which we take a look at various content creators and or podcasts, peoples and platforms and stuff like that. People that make you into a better person. Just put it that way. And as always, we work in the realm of five. Like, comment, subscribe, notify, share. Those 5 actions will help get our stuff out to more people and hopefully make your day a little bit better. We aim to entertain. We aim to engage, inform, and entertain. And hopefully, you'll find some value in that. And now, on with the show. Today's podcast will deal with someone who we've been dealing with. We've been looking at him. And it's definitely worth looking into. And that's King Richez. Shout out to you, King Richez, and everybody working at the Just Pearly Things. You are an inspiration. And you know, we want to do what you do in our space. The major difference between Rainy Day Podcast, Groove to Jazzy Groove Podcast, and Just Pearly Things Network is this: we are more centrist. That's it. There are things we both agree on. There are things we disagree on. But all in all, we are pretty much on the same page. King Richez was on my radar somewhat. You know, we saw he's been doing this for a while, since about 2015. So he's been in the game for a while. And he come to notoriety with his affiliation with Just Pearly Things. And recently, Just Pearly Things has come under attack. Pearl's under attack for an interview with Nick Fuentes. We're not going to deal with that today. We dealt with it in previous podcasts. We will deal with it again if and when it warrants it in a future podcast. That's not why we're here. We're here for King Richez. We're here for his pushback. We're here for his views and his critique and his psyche. We are going.
Let's see what.
We gotta do that again. We're going to switch over to King Richez. This is a podcast, as you see in the title. So Cardi B posted a clip of his podcast with Melanie King, You're Rebellious. Let's see what he's talking about.
I started all this commotion today. Make sure you hit the like button as well. Boom. Look, as you can see, Cardi B, Mrs. Dangerous. And what is it? What is it? Who the F she talking to? She retweeted, and you can see my face right there, bruv. She retweeted a video that someone else posted, and that person got millions of views as well. Yeah? But it's funny how that my video don't have the millions of views. It's annoying. What is going on? But anyway, we're going to play this video. Let's see what's happening. When you come outside with the blue hair, the eyelashes, the makeup, the everything,
yes,
it just screams like she's just one of those girls, bro.
Hey,
City girls, like
Young
stripper culture, like that kind of shit.
Can
like,
I just say one thing to that?
You can't say nothing to that because I'm telling you how guys perceive it. So that's how we perceive it.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying? What are you going to say that's going to negate what I'm saying?
I'm an artist, okay? So when I'm on stage, my lyrics, everything that I do, I represent Christ, I represent myself.
How does How does blue hair represent Christ? How does eyelashes represent Christ? How does face full of makeup and glossy lips represent Christ? How?
That's true, mainly because God, Yahweh, Jehovah, whatever you want to call him, through his son Jesus Christ, was about modesty. You show me one thing on her face that says modest. Not the hair, not the eyelashes, not the raptor claws she calls nails. Nothing on her, nothing. So if Jesus Christ was admonishes his followers, Christians, which means Christ-like, to be modest, what's she doing? What is she doing? Let's continue.
Bro. Like, that's just what you want to put out there. That's your image that you want to put out there. The last time I seen, the Bible didn't talk about having blue hair and eyelashes and makeup. It didn't say anything about that, bro.
True.
That's you. That's your image that you want to portray. And you can put out whatever image you want. I'm not telling you what to do, but all I was saying in this video is how guys like me are going to perceive that image. That's all I was saying to her. You can't argue when I'm telling you my own perception and the perceptions of people I spoke to, people I know.
Okay. Let's extrapolate on that, shall we? It's not just you, King Richez. It's not just you. I fall into that category. And there are hundreds and thousands, if not millions, of men out there who feel the same way. You do you, as the saying goes. You do you. And more power to you. No one's telling you what you should or shouldn't do. No one's telling you what you can or can't do. No one's saying any of that at all. What we're saying to you is how guys like us, like myself, like King Richez, feel about girls like you. You could be the catch of the week. You could be wifey. And we'll never know. But oh well, that just sucks to be us, doesn't it? You could be it. And people like King Richez, people like myself go, oh, no, I'm good. I'll rock out over here. I'm good. You stay over there. And we'll miss out. Oh, well. Oh, flippin' well. They're getting me started, and we're not even 10 minutes into this video yet. And they're already getting me started.
Like, there's no argument. All you can say is, well, I don't care what you think. I'm going to do what I'm doing. If she had said that, then cool, fine. Live your movie. Do whatever you want to do. But I'm just letting you know how it's going to be perceived by certain people. Do you get what I'm saying? But anyway, let's carry on.
Beauty, and I represent black women that are bosses.
No. Hold on. All black women that are bosses don't have blue hair. They don't have... They're not you. You're not a monolith. Do you get what I'm saying? Like...
Again, I find no fault in his logic. People scream up and down, left and right, backwards and forwards, that black people are not a monolith. I get it. I hear it. Black people are not a monolith. If black people are not a monolith, then would it be fair to say that they all don't think like you? Therefore, they don't dress like you. Therefore, they don't act like you. They don't carry themselves like you. Would you say that? Would that be fair? Would that be a fair assessment? As King Richez said, we know you're not a monolith. We're not a monolith.
You represent yourself. Esther, the lady that's in the picture, who was a guest on my show, who, let me just add, she never...
Oh, yeah. Her name is Esther.
Had no problem with being on the show. She was on the show all the way to the end. I never kicked her off the show. She never left. She was there from the start to the finish. And guess what? She said she would be more than happy to come back on the show. So I find it funny that I'm getting all this heat from all these random people, a lot of them being females, random females on Instagram who don't like this clip when the person that's in the clip doesn't have a problem with me. But
Okay, stop. Fuck you. Fuck your feelings. We're not worried about that. We're not here to placate the few butthurt females on the internets that have a problem with a clip. Now, the very word clip means it is part of a larger whole. We can agree on that. And if it's just a part of a whole, don't you think that it would be in your best interest? It would behoove you to watch the whole thing before you come up with an opinion. And truth to be told, the smoke should have been directed at Melanie, not King Richez. Because she's the one that went all in, that we said on the previous video. She's the one that went in hard. He didn't. I can remember him saying that for a minute he thought he was on somebody else's video. He forgot it was his. So, all you females out there, I'm okay. I understand that the clip that you watched may not have put women in a positive light. I don't know how, but we'll say it could. Okay, we'll say it did. This keyboard warrior mentality that we have today, this anonymous keyboard warrior mentality that we have, it's got to stop. It won't stop, but it needs to. Because as I've said before, and as stated by the great Chris Rock, you can have, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And I'll say that again. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. You can drive your car with your feet if you want to, but it doesn't make it a good idea. That's not something that I would advocate. That's not something that you would advocate. Because you don't have the control with your feet that you do with your hands. Your hands are more ambidextrous than your feet. So you could do it. But you shouldn't. But should you do it? Not so much.
These randoms do. Like, I find you lot to just be like a joke. It's all you people that are writing stuff underneath my comments or DMs, you're all clowns. Because this woman here, she will be back on the show. Anyway, let's run it.
Girl, no. You can't land no more. That boss stuff. A man does not want a woman who says she's a boss, sweetheart.
Insecure men don't want a boss.
No man. And I'm telling you, men who've conquered the world do not want this. But are they taking you home and saying that's my wife?
Some have.
There's a difference.
Some have though. That's
No. No. You got a rebuttal to everything, but you're not digesting. You're hearing, but not listening. You know why it's important for you to listen?
To you?
No, not to me.
Okay,
to wisdom. So you talked about being a Christian, but it says the older women need to teach the younger women, and younger women need to listen and be submissive. But you know how many young women are not submissive to what men say? But you say you're...
Stop it there. And this is something I come across every single time on my podcast. You know, it doesn't matter how much logic or reality you try to show. A lot of these modern women, you know, they just think I should be able to do whatever and I should still get respect at the same time. I'm sorry, the real world does not work like that.
Again, I can find no fault with his logic. It's all about me. Me. I. My feelings. I feel like. Always what you think. Always what you feel. Always what you want. Last I looked, there are two people in that equation, a male and a female. We know what you want. We know what you feel. We know what you like because you can tell us. You tell us every freaking time you open your mouth, so we know. What do we want? What do we as men want? What are our requirements? What are our preferences? And those same females that scream up and down, I feel, I, don't have a fucking clue what we want. And that's because they don't have to. And that, I think, is our fault. Because we don't do what they do. And what they do is they communicate what they want every fucking chance they get. Every chance they get, they articulate what they want, how they feel. What you need to do for them. Great Janet Jackson song, what have you done for me lately? Or what have you done for him? Why should he choose you? What makes you so goddamn special? And the crickets are chirping. Because that's the answer that you're going to get from him. That's the answer. Let's get back.
Yeah, there's rules. Everything is based on rules and logic. Like, if you put out there this image of stripper culture, which is all these bright colored hair and all this makeup and all of this stuff, like, don't be surprised that people, they look at you a certain type of way. Do not.
Okay. Ta-da. He's right. Strippers have the fake hair, the bright colored hair. Strippers have the cumbrellas, which are those large spider-like eyelashes girls like to wear now. They got the long nails. They got the skimpy clothes. So if you dress like that, how in the name of decency you expect the guy to take you seriously? Oh, they're going to smash. Oh, they're going to smash. You get sexual attention all day, every day, and twice on Sundays. You'll get that. Because men are horny. Let's keep it real. Men are horny. So you'll get sexual attention, but will you get relationship intention? Ah, there you go. I don't think you will. Back to the video.
Be surprised by that. And don't try to make out people are insecure because they don't like your image. That's it. Like, bruh. And a lot of times, you know, a lot of modern women do not want to listen. They don't want to hear anything that may go against what they want to do. They don't want to hear the other side. Nah, all they got is shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. And that's what I'm getting from a lot of these people, these randoms that are writing all these dumb comments underneath my Instagram posts. But it's
Sign language. Shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. A lot of shame. A lot of shame. And they'll guilt you. They got insults for days. All in the need to be right. So as you can see, everything ties in to the need to be right. Everything is about that. They have to be right, so they'll shame you. They'll insult you, and they'll guilt you. And a lot of guys, I would call them simps, but as I said before, every male has simped for a female at some point in his life. As the late Bobby Caldwell once sang, what you won't do, you do for love, which is an eloquent way of saying things that you wouldn't necessarily even think about doing, things that will be off the table in your everyday life, suddenly are not just on the table, but viable options when it comes to love. Because love blinds you. Love makes it hard to see because all you see is the other person. And as you fall more in love, it gets more clouded because the more you feel that you need to do for this person. I want to show this person that there isn't anything I won't do for them. What you won't do, you do for love. I forgot my train of thought. Oh, well.
It's all good. Carry on. Let's go.
Christian woman.
Okay.
You can't be a Christian woman and buck against what men are saying. That is anti-biblical, it's anti-God, it's anti-Christ, and it makes you the great whore of Babylon. That's what the Bible
No, it
talks
doesn't.
about. I was raised in Christian school, Christian college, and I was in the church 4 days a week, all day on Sunday.
That doesn't mean anything.
No, it means something when I'm telling you scripture and you're bucking against it.
Okay.
And
It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything because it goes against your worldview. That's why it doesn't mean anything. That's the only reason why it doesn't mean anything. That's the only reason you could say something like that. It doesn't mean anything. Okay, if it doesn't mean anything, then all that nonsense you were talking about, how you wear blue hair because it brings value to your brand, that doesn't mean anything either. That's less than zero. Right? Am I right? Can you have both those things be the same? At the same time exist in the same space? And if not, ask yourself why.
and it's against the word of God. So don't claim God and Christianity, but your attitude is bucking, and you cannot be quiet for one moment. Don't ask me a question, respond to what I said.
Okay, so what do you want me to
Don't ask me a question. You hear, but you do not listen. If you listen, you would know the questions I ask.
The questions that you ask, I don't really have much to say to them. I'm going to be honest with you.
But don't claim Christianity if you're not willing to submit to when men are telling you. A lot of women are Christian feminists.
I'm not a feminist.
No, you came Christianity.
I agree with that. There are a lot of women that are Christian feminists. I agree with that, absolutely. Because you got to remember, in most churches these days, it's heavily populated with women. It's not even 50-50 no more. It is the majority of congregations, when you go, especially to black churches, most of the congregation will be women. So what happens is most of the narratives that are spoke about in churches are pertaining or focused or kind of just like on the side of women. Yeah, a lot of passages, a lot of scriptures which are basically instructing women to, listen to men and let men lead, and men are the leaders and are meant to be in authority. They conveniently bypass those scriptures, conveniently leave those out. And then a lot of these women will still be claiming they're Christians, but they only focus on the passages that make them feel good, that make them feel like they're the ones that are, I don't know, the goddesses, the queens, or, whatever, or make them.
I call them part-time Christians because they cherry pick. They're the type of people who will take a scripture, pick out the parts of that scripture that make them feel good about themselves, and discard the rest. They're part-time. They're not even real. Full disclosure, I think everybody does that at some point. In every aspect of life, be it religion, be it secular, whatever. Everyone does it. Because you want to put yourself in the best possible light. So if you see something that partly says yes, but also might say or no, you don't take that part. You don't worry about that part. You take the part that says yes, and you amplify that. But the problem we have here, as Melanie, shout out to Melanie King, as she puts out, you do these things, and you say these things, but it's mostly geared toward you. As King Richez has said, most congregations, most people now in organized religion these days are women. Men, not so much anymore. That goes back to way back in the day. Full disclosure, we grew up as Jehovah's Witnesses. And back in the 70s, 1975 to be precise, they were preaching of the end of the world. Even my father got into it. He started learning about it because he wanted to be around with his wife. And 1975 came and went. And when it went, and nothing happened, he lost interest. And I say that because men are visual creatures. I'll believe what I can see. If I can't see it, I won't believe it. So when men when men are spoon-fed this dream, but there's no tangible proof behind it to back it up. There's nothing concrete. There's nothing you can actually grab onto, be it literal or figurative. You lose interest in it. On to the next thing. Right? So now you got a majority of women in a congregation, and they're all being taught things that are female-centric or female-specific.
Feel good, basically, innit? So anyway, carry on.
When it works in your favor,
Not
but you
necessarily.
put down men and say, you're rebellious.
Can I just
You're
ask, when did I
rebellious.
put down a man here?
You're rebellious.
When did I put down
You're
a man?
rebellious, and I'm calling it out.
But when did
You're
I-
rebellious.
But when did I?
Do you see the way that, and that's Melanie King, obviously, the way that Melanie is talking to her is like how older women used to talk to younger women back in the day. Like, there was a hierarchy. Like a lot of older women of like maybe our mum, maybe not our mum's generations, but our grandmother's generations and stuff like that, and older. They would keep the younger women in check. They would tell them how to behave themselves, how to dress, what to do, what not to do, what kind of guys to date, etc., etc. Whereas now it's just a free for all. It's the wild wild west in the West. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just YOLO culture. Like, the older women don't tell the younger women nothing, you know, because a lot of times the older women are competing with the younger women in our society.
Tell them. And it's true. 2 generations ago. No. I say as far as a generation ago, there was a rigid structure to a family. Women would fall under a hierarchy of which you had the elder, and you had first generation, second generation, third generation, so that sort of thing, where the elder had no qualms in telling the younger ones how to act, how to speak, what to wear, how to move, all that stuff. And it's accepted because that's the way they were taught. But somewhere it broke. It broke. The younger generation wasn't paying that much attention to what the older generation was trying to tell them. Fast forward to today, they don't give a damn. They could care less. And they show it. And they show no shame in it. That's why in that video, you had Esther, a.k.a. Blue Hair, constantly chirping back and talking back to Melanie. Because she was never taught to even be quiet. Be fucking quiet. I used to watch a show called The Transformers. And one thing that made me laugh but came into play much later was Starscream and Megatron, 2 Decepticons, were talking about something. And Megatron turned to Starscream and said, if I want to know how you think, I'll tell you. And it made me laugh. But these days, that's exactly how it is. And that's the way of saying, and the true saying is, if I want to know what you think, I'll ask you. But that's how it is today. If I want to know how you feel, I'll tell you. You don't know what you want. I'll tell you what you want. You don't know what you want. Let's listen to a little bit more of it.
So they don't tell them to do better. They just leave them to be wild and just do, hot girl summers and stuff like that, And the way that Melanie was talking to that Esther in that video is a lot of times the same way a lot of older women from those older generations used to talk to the younger women. This is not new stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? But now Cardi B has tweeted and said, who the F is she talking to? Because Cardi B represents the modern woman culture. That culture of, the blue wigs and the excessive makeup and the raptor claw fingernails and all of that. Cardi B represents that. In fact, Cardi B is one of the forerunners of that kind of culture that a lot of modern women have adapted to. Do you know what I mean? It's not only Cardi B, but she's definitely a figurehead in that soup.
Let's talk about her for a moment. Cardi B, the WAP girl. That's her claim to fame. She don't need no man. I got the wet ass pussy. Blah, 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 blah. How do you live, Cardi? How do you live? You talk all this stuff about women empowerment and you don't need no man, stuff like that. You're married. Happily, from what I'm looking at. And that goes to this whole faking the funk thing that I talk about constantly. You talk the talk, but you never walk the walk. Because you know that walking the walk will get you in trouble. You know that if you don't move in a certain way, it'll have negative repercussions on you. So you don't. And that in itself is fine. You can do that. That's what makes you happy. Then by all means, go for it. But before you go full-throated and knee-deep and all that stuff like that, think for a minute. Think. Why am I telling girls today to do the very things that I myself am not ready to do? And I'll tell you why. Money. Money. They say money is the root of all evil, and I can find no fault in that logic either. Money will get you all messed up. And why? Because everybody wants to have it. Why? Why do people have to be this way? Granted, if they did not have nothing to talk about, but think about it, the world would be so much better. People say the world would be boring, but we wouldn't know that. How would you know the world is boring if you knew nothing else? That's why virgins are so sought after. They don't know nothing else. So the first time they have it, that's how it should be. You don't know any better. So how do you know life will be boring? How do you know that that sex should be better? You don't. Unless someone tells you.
But anyway, let's see what they're saying in the comments. I can't quite see the comment. It says, it's one thing to be a boss at work, but to a whole man, nah. That's it. That's what you call emasculation. Emasculating a man is when you feel you can take the power and authority away from the man. Never do that. You'll definitely wind up and stay single. And this is the thing. A lot of this boss, I'm a boss. A lot of these modern women like to tout that I'm a boss. At the end of the day, it's all well and good for you to be an entrepreneur. It's all well and good for you to get your own money and all of that. But at the end of the day, in a relationship with a man, especially the type of man that you probably want to be with, the man is going to be the head of the house. The man is going to be the leader. The man is going to be the protector. So who are you actually the boss of?
And there is where the conservative side of me comes out. I am a traditional in that matter. I am. And I'll take it a step further. I would never put my foot down and be like, it's like this is the way, or no way. It would never be like that. My way to the highway. Never. I'll ask, honey, what do you think? I want to do this. What do you think? And she'll tell me. And then I'll mull it around in my head. And ultimately, I'll make the decision whether I'm going to do it or I'm not going to do it. Now, there are also a lot of times when she'll say I should do something, I do it, and it comes out bad. There are times when that happens. But I don't get, I told you so. I just gotta, okay. What are you gonna do now? Back to the video.
Because you can be the boss out there in your own industry, but once you get in the household, the man should be the leader. The man should be in a position of authority. But anyway.
And, you know, another thing I just thought about. Another thing. He's saying it's all right to be a boss outside, but be submissive inside. I'll say that's for people who can turn it off. If you can't turn it off, then you don't need to do it. Because turning it off is compromise. It's the art of compromising. If you cannot turn it off, you cannot compromise. Therefore, you don't need a man in your life. And that goes against primary biological nature. Am I lying? No. Excuse me. Let's get back.
Let's carry on. The next one says, you know what the F the host was... You know what the F the host saying is correct. Cardi, you need to repent. Stop trying to confuse the young ladies of the world. Exactly what I'm saying. At the end of the day, like, what I was saying to her is straight facts. If you dress a certain type of way, like in this kind of caricature, kind of cartoon character, I've got blue hair, which is obviously not the natural phenotype of our people, but you're walking around with blue hair and all of this stuff, and I understand you might be an artist and, you know, you want to put out certain caricatures and stuff like that. I understand, but you was on a podcast. You wasn't performing. You come to a podcast where we're going to talk about dating and relationships. Like, why would you, you know... you just come out and show a certain type of image. And I was just being real. At the end of the day, a serious guy is not going to look at a girl with blue hair and take her seriously. That's just not.
That brings something from my past. Full disclosure, I am a digital media mogul in training. Whatever. I'm grinding. When I was younger, I saw and I wanted to have a high top fade with the edges being blonde. That's what I wanted. Could I have done it? Sure. It would have furthered my brand. It would have probably solidified my brand. Because people are like, oh, who's got the high top fade and the blonde bits in his hair? Oh, that's OBJ. Yeah, it could have worked. But when I'm out of character, and see, that's the part that I think King Richez is talking about, and the thing that most people forget, especially in the world of entertainment, the artist. There is a public persona and a private persona. The public persona can be anything that you want. The private persona will be everything that you are. And there's a huge disconnect because there's a huge difference in what I'm saying. A public persona can be a wig. It can be bald. It could be dripping with gold. You have a gold grill. Women wear the nails. There's the gold, the skin type, jeans, this, that, and the other thing. All that stuff. Things that make you stand out. Things that get you noticed. The private persona is how you walk around every day. Esther was in her public persona, even on a podcast. And she wasn't being honest, because if she was being honest, she would say that she was on the podcast dressed the way she was because she was looking to further her brand. It's another way of getting eyeballs on her. I would say, if you're that talented, why bother? Be you. Be yourself. Be authentic. But people don't want to be authentic because they feel they're missing out on stuff. Because somewhere deep inside, where it really matters, they like the attention. They crave this. It's like a drug. They're addicted to it. They need more. It's been said that women crave attention like men crave sex. And I would say spot on. Abso-freaking-lutely. Because men find sex irresistible. Women find attention irresistible. That's why when you go out to a club, which, by the way, is a horrible place to try and meet somebody, you put on your best. But I feel, and I've said, that when you go to a club, you find a bunch of Barbies and Kens. They're plastic. They're not real. For the most part. Now, full disclosure, you can go to a club and you can find somebody who is real. You can find somebody who will be the love of your life. You can. It can happen. And it does happen. But it doesn't happen often enough to be a significant phenomenon. It just doesn't. That got a little screwy. So let's bring it back. A lot of what King Richez says and what he said is true. You can say what you want. You can feel how you want. You can do what you want. Doesn't change the fact that it's true. Anton Daniels, shout out to Anton Daniels and the Millionaire podcast, Millionaire Morning Show, excuse me, on the Lapeef Network. And give everybody that I'm talking about, when you get a chance, give them all a listen. Give them a listen. There'll be things that you agree with, things that you don't, that you disagree with. But all in all, it's good stuff. But he has said, oh, I hate that. It'll come back to me. I'll remember it. King Richez is the truth talker. He is. We need to do better. I keep saying it in the hope that someday it'll crack through somebody's skull and they'll actually attempt to implement it. But we need to do better. This ain't cutting it. This cannot stand. You got people that are diametrically opposed, and they don't even remember why anymore. They don't know why they're fighting, they're just fighting. They've forgotten the reasons why. Everybody is right. Even when shown factual, statistical, and logical reasons why they are not right. I feel like I'm right. Oh? Is that right? You do you. People need to listen. I mean, listen to people like King Richez, people like Pearl, people like Anton, people like MTR. They had their reasons for doing things. They'll articulate why they're doing these things, and then it's up to you, the listener, to say, okay, I can rock with that, or no, I'll let it slide. And that's good. That's fine. Because that's all we as content creators can do. We can give you suggestions. We can say, you should do this because A, B, C, D, and E. We would like it if this happened because of A, B, C, D, and E. That's all we can do. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And with that, I'll bring this show to a close. Thank you for allowing me to give you my perspective on a content creator. And a damn good content creator, I might add. As always, we'll end on the rule of 5. Whatever. Yeah, we know. Okay. Like. Quickest, easiest, and the most effective way to tell the YouTube algorithm to push content forward. I like it. Thumbs up. Press the button. Comment. Good, bad, or indifferent, we'd like to hear it. There's a saying. No news is bad news. Any news is good news. So, if you like it, let us know. If you don't like it, let us know. You have an idea, a critique, praise, whatever. Write it down. Take a few minutes out your day. You could do it while you listen. We can't grow if we don't know. So comment. Subscribe. Want to get in on all our content? We have approximately 74 videos at the moment. Subscribing gets you instant access to our whole page and all our content. You want to listen to something you like? There's a favorite episode you like that you have? A favorite episode that you listen to and you want to hear some of it again? Subscribing makes it happen. Notify. You really like what we do and you want in on when our next content becomes available. Notifying does that. Hit the bell. Share. Another quick way of promoting us is if you like it, chances are that at least one of your friends will like it too. Let them hear it. If you can, sit with them while they listen. That's an ideal world. And in any other world, send them a link. Because if just one person likes it, and you send it to 5 people, that's 5 people that we've touched. And it grows exponentially from there. I do the stuff that I do because I care. I speak the way I speak because I care. I move the way I move because I care. I want to see society as a whole become the best versions of themselves they could possibly be. And if just one person, just one, attains that state, becomes the best version of themselves that they can be, my job is done. Mission accomplished. I can go home now. So until the next, this is OBJ saying, be thoughtful, be mindful, be kind, do better, and peace out.